Welcome to the 10 Acre Woods. My name is Mark, and it has been a very hot Saturday. 37 degrees, right around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And so I figured I would wait until the evening to go out and show you what was going on, as a lot of the animals were just kind of relaxing in buildings and away from the sun, which is good. But now there's some rumbling going on in the distance, so much needed rain. So it sounds like we may get a thunder shower come through here. Now, all of our animals here are out and the kids are playing. We have last week moved Charlotte out into the main pen because her kids are, well, they're time for weaning. So that is Bo and Luke, which I believe is here and here. And so the next one actually is Gizmo, and Gizmo is Coco's. Where is Giz? There's Giz. Gizmo. He's a single boy, so he was one. Most of them actually were ones. There was a couple twins. Hi, bud. You get into trouble, don't you? Yes. You play King of the Castle on our saucer over there, which is the an old satellite dish. Right, bud? Yeah. You little troublemaker. We will be banding these boys, fixing them, in other terms. So we have two girls, and then we have the 7 boys. So we will be banding them. It should be done between, what is it? It's between 8 and 10 weeks. So they need to be old enough, 8 weeks, so that you don't catch their urethra when you put the band on them. So when we do it, they generally feel some slight discomfort for the first 10 seconds. Some of them do. Some of them don't even realize what's going on. And then the band just goes on, and it falls off at some point a week or two down the road. Hey, Sheldon. Oh, are you a hot boy? There's Charlotte there. So Coco almost wants to go in. We'll probably move her out sometime in the next few days. Right, Coco? Do you want to go over and see? We'll leave you in here for the time being. So Charlotte, she wants to get on the one side, and then she wants to get on the other side. And here's our alpaca. Well, 4 of the boys anyway. So who do we have? Let's see if I can remember this. Okay, so we have a Mia. And that is the hair kind of goes out and over the eyes. And then we have Java, of course, Coffee. He's the easy one. And then we have, I believe this is Sunny. Yes, that's a Sunny, or Squint. And then we have Jojo. And Jasper. Jasper is usually, he's not in there. It's been funny because I think Jasper's been hanging out with the girls. So he's probably way out in the back somewhere there. Anywho, the sheep. So of course we had the sheep sheared. Oh, so that is Daisy there. And then we have Turbo over here. Bronwyn didn't get sheared. And there is Fernando. How you doing, bud? And I am wearing my Flirt Like Fernando shirt. So if you want some of our merchandise, it's available on Teesprings. Underneath the video, there's information on that, as well as in the description. So you can go over and check out if you want any of our merch. This is Jasper, not Jojo. So Jasper has the hair coming off of the ears. So it's Jojo that's out back. And Tiana is just calling them because it is feeding time. Thanks, Tinker. I think Tinker's helping out. That's funny. All right, well, here they come anyway. But it's funny how Tinker is helping us call them in. Alright, the alpacas finally made it in.
Alpaca's in!
Who is that? Oh. That's Gizmo. No. Wait. Yeah, that's Gizmo. So maybe he's not ready for weaning yet.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right, so we are going to get these little ones here fed. So we have JJ and we have Willow. So both females. Yeah, you want the bottle. So the alpaca are eating. The pigs already came in and went as we were trying to get these guys in. I guess they just wanted to stay out in the rain. The one thing with alpaca is they love the water and they love the rain. So they'll just stand in the sprinkler if they want. It's kind of funny. These guys are about a month, well now 5 weeks old. Hi, yes. And we talked about their tails, how they're not docked. So there are concerns, of course, health concerns being fly strike, which is maggots getting in underneath if it's not kept clean, and creating, basically infesting the back end of the sheep. So it's too late to do it the traditional way, which is to use basically the elastic bands that we use to fix the buoys that I was talking about earlier. So it is between day 2 and day 7 is when that can be done. After that, it needs to be surgically done. So we're going to leave them intact as is. Bronwyn is not docked, and she's had no problems. Although she is a haired sheep, she is not a wool sheep. So basically, there's she sheds off, so there's not really a big concern back there. But if they have the runs or anything, that can run into a problem. But we're out with the animals quite often that we don't really have to worry about that, so we'll just keep an eye on it. Okay, Paca. Come on, Paca. Come on, we're going outside. Dinner's over. Yep, keep moving, keep moving. So this is a training exercise. We have Paula and Shanzi that know the routine, and we are using them to train the other ones. So it seems to be working, although tonight was a little bit of a challenge, but it seemed to work. Are you guys not going outside? I think it's raining now. You guys should be loving that. So it is time for bottle feeding. Tiana has the bottle. And we'll see the hungry little kids. Yes. There we go. Who's okay? So we got JJ's first. And look at that floppy little tail. So Willow's going to try to get in. Although she's not too pushy. Usually JJ's the pushy one. So when Willow's eating, she'll probably get in there and oh yeah, she's sucking that right back. Oh, good girl. Look at that. Hey, Willow. Okay, so one down. That didn't take long. Here, maybe shoot JJ out here.
That's what I normally do?
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, not far enough.
Look. Ow.
Okay, good. All right, now this will make the feeding a little bit easier. Oh, look at that little snake flop around on the back end. So it's hard to believe that Turbo and Tinker were this small. George was a little bit larger when he came in. He wasn't quite this small. Although I believe he was also on the bottle, if I recall correctly, but wasn't he not?
I can't remember. That
I
was
think
so long
I think
ago.
he was on the bottle just for the tail end of it. Tail end of it. Haha, see what I did there?
Yeah.
I think it was about a week that we had him on the bottle. So, all right. Looks like she's just about done that. Good job. Well, I can still hear the thunder, but we only got a couple little drizzles, as you can see here from the edge of this pond liner. And this is something that I wanted to talk about, was the pond liner itself. So this is it's a quite thick, high-density polyethylene. It's a rigid sheet. And this was actually installed in 2018. But the whole reason why we installed a pond on the property was because when we bought the property in 1997, got a really good price on it, got some nice frontage right on the highway. We then came out in November of that year after building a storage building, and we realized that it flooded. So wondered what we were getting ourselves into. We bought this property, first property, and it seems to be a lemon. So what was happening is at the back of the property, which is right back that way, there are tracks that run across the back of the property. And we think that it's got something to do with the drainage system, but every spring we have water that comes through and would flood this area. This was always the low area, and it would go up and over into our front yard, which would probably get about 12 to 18 inches of water across, and then flow out a low point to the front highway into the ditch. So we decided, well, we're going to dig out a pond, a retention pond, and then we are going to dig out a drainage ditch. So the drainage ditch starts over here and goes straight up. It's 4 feet wide. We used a bobcat to clear that out. And it just drains right out. It's graded properly so that it bypasses the rest of our yard. So we had the pond for quite a few years, but then I think it was 2017 we noticed that it was drying up. So we had virtually no water. There was a little cesspool at the bottom of the deep end. And we thought, when we discussed for a few years about possibly lining it. So in 2018, we were in talks with a guy who owned a company called Titan Environmental, and they had this pond liner. They had the scrap pieces kicking around. So he said he would donate the material. We would just have to pay for his time and his equipment time to come out and install it. So I did a whole video on that, and all of these videos I'll link down in the description. So you can go back and check them out, because I know there's been a few of you who are thinking about installing a pond or have a pond and want to know how to maintain it. So 2018 we had him come out. It was low already, so that was the perfect time of year. So he came in with the equipment. He dug out all that sludge that was in the bottom and moved that all out. And then what he did is he put down some fresh fill. He put down a geotextile, which is a thick fabric material normally used on highways, underneath highways, before they finish it. Then he put some river wash rock. On top of that, he put the geotextile again. And then he put the fill on top of that. So that was the finished grade for the pond. And the reason why that he had put that sandwiched layer of rock underneath, he used the geotextile on the top and bottom so that any of the mud or dirt or gravel wouldn't get in and plug up that system. Because what that does is it draws the water in from the surrounding area, and then it goes up into a well. And the well I have conveniently hidden with the lighthouse that we built. I believe that was in 2019. So that is how we top up the pond if we need to. I usually do that, or I have been doing that the last month or so, just every once in a while, because it has been hot, very little rain, so we want to make sure that there's some fresh water getting in there. We're not too concerned about it overflowing, because of course over here we have our outcrop, which then goes up, overflows, and the pigs just love to be right in that area. Often find them bathing and routing through the mud, doing what pigs do. From there, we then started to lay the liner in, and that liner came in sheets. Again, it's thick high density polyethylene. We laid that out across the pond. It took us, I believe it was 2 days it took us to cut and lay it all out, and then we heat fused it together. So there's a couple different pieces of equipment that he used. One of them is almost kind of like a sewing machine, where the two pieces are put into this machine and then it's self-propelled. And it actually goes through and heats up the two layers and then heat fuses them together. He had another one that when we were doing the seams, he would use, basically it was this big heat gun with an extrusion, a poly extrusion extruder that heated the poly and then put it down onto the liner itself. So you've got your pond in. Now, how do you maintain it? What do we do to maintain it? There's a few things that you want to look at. You want to make sure there's good water movement. You don't want to have a swamp. So you want to keep that aeration factor happening and the water movement. So what we've been doing is, you know, it's nothing pretty at the moment. We just took a spool and put this pipe in here, and there is our pumped water that is actually coming up from a pump that is down over in there. So you can almost see that pipe underneath the water. We want to clean up some of this, and it pumps into there. We just pulled this out of the pond today. We realized that it was apparently holding some, it was in here, it wasn't doing anything. It was supposed to keep the rocks from sliding down in, but it really didn't do anything. So we're gonna have to rethink this. We pulled it out to dry it out and we'll haul it off. So we've got water movement, which is very important. Oh, looks like the sun's coming out. And then we have aeration, which is this guy here. So, this is a windmill, and it's not just for looks. It's not really doing anything right now because it's not windy. But there is a compressor in the middle of it, and then there's a line that comes down here and goes down this pipe and then goes out across. So I have picked up another pipe, one that actually sinks. So it's a heavy-duty kind of rubberized one that'll sink in the sink down into the pond. And I had to pick up a new stone, a new air stone, because the one I had was clogged. It wasn't working. I tried to fix it, and of course I broke it. So it was time for another one anyway. I think it was 2015, 2016, we installed this windmill. If you're looking at a windmill like that, we got it from a company called Conders Windmill. They are located in Saskatchewan, and they do ship right across North America, if not the world. If you're in Canada, you can go to your farmyard supply store, PV Mart. They also carry them, and they can ship them in, and you can pick them up from those locations. They may even ship it direct to your location, depending on how things go. In the US, check, I don't know, Tractor Supply Store. But it's a Conders windmill, and they're a very popular windmill, so Tractor Supply should be able to set you up with that anyway, or just buy directly from them. How do we maintain the pond with chemical-wise? We don't. We haven't. We've never added anything to it. But when the guy that installed the pond, when he left us, of course, he gave us 3 bags, or 2 bags and a pail of stuff, and said this is what they use in the hatcheries, like fish hatcheries. It's food grade. It's it won't hurt your animals. It's potable, good for drinking sources. Now, somebody had asked me what we use a couple weeks ago, and I went out and I was like, I don't even know what this stuff's called. So I made myself a little cheat sheet just to kind of remind me. Phos Clear. So Phos Clear is aluminum sulfite. And what the Phos Clear does, my understanding is it clumps the small particles together and then allows them to settle down to the bottom, clearing your water. Then there's 2 other ones, 2 algicides. The one is Curtrin Plus granular algicide. And that one kills the algae that is on the bottom. So on the directions, I believe you want to use the first one first, which is the Green Clean Pro Granular Algicide. And I'll put this stuff down in the description. Now that material, or that product, will kill the algae that is up on the top of the water. Killing it, dropping it down. The Curtrin Plus Granular Algicide, that kills the algae along the bottom of the pond. And then you've got the Phos Clear, which is the aluminum sulfite, which then clumps everything together and drops it and clears the pond. Now, as I mentioned, we don't use it. We've never used it. It's hard, maybe a little bit hard to see. Actually, it's not so bad. It was really good during the day. I'm not looking at the duck, but that's a Muscovy. So if we zoom in around the Muscovy, you can see right into the water. You can see everything at the bottom there. Oh, there goes we got a rowan chasing a Muscovy, I think. So the water depth in around that area where the duck is about 2 feet. So we can see 2 feet down into the water. And it's clear. It's a little tough to see further out because just of the reflection. But if you have a situation where you need that product, then at least you'll have an idea as to what we don't use, but we have if we need to use it. Now, you have a pond and you want to find out, what do you need? Do you need to do something else to it? I have a freshwater water testing kit for an aquarium. I picked one up at, I think it was at a pet store, and you use that to find out what your levels of, ammonia are in there. Your ammonia, your nitrite and your nitrates, and ammonia levels. So that's going to tell you if you need to do something, if you need to do some water changes. Again, I've got the well that I can turn on, which is another reason why I just, every once in a while, I'll turn on the water and just kind of do a refresh. Of course, it's not going to cycle the entire water. It's probably not a quarter or even a tenth of a water change, but at least it's getting some more of that fresh water in there. We don't have fish in this pond. We have had fish, and one year we actually had some small catfish. It was a black haze in the water, and we were trying to figure out what that was. So we took a net and scooped it up, and it was little catfish, just little guys. So we figured those came in from the overwater flooding back across the back of the pond. We have had pickerel in here, and I'm talking pickerel that's 16 inches. And it's like, where does this thing come from? So obviously, again, overwater flooding came into the pond, probably ate all of the smaller fish and whatever it could. And that would have been in 2017 when it dried up. And when it dried up, we found that poor fish dead, and the crows had been picking at it. So circle of life, yeah, it was a pretty big pickerel in there. So I knew I wanted to make a lighthouse, and I've got a whole video on that I can put down in the description below. And it was a good opportunity. It is actually a lighthouse, so the animals can find their way home, just like the ships can find their way home. Late at night, when it gets dark, they head out in the back, and they know exactly where home is because they can see the light, and it lights up this whole area. This LED light that's in here has a luminous value equivalent to 175 watt mercury vapor bulb, so your standard white street light. So it lights up this whole entire area. And in here, as I mentioned, we have a little hiding spot. So in here is the well. So that well there, and then I've got a plug sticking out here. I put this pail in there so that we don't have any ducks or animals getting up in here, geese, and falling in to the well. The well is probably about 10 feet deep. and we just don't want any problems there. So that's where the pump is. I've got an extension cord in here that is actually running the pond pump, the one over at the Waterfall, and then I've even wired up a GFI ground fault interrupter plug-in. So that is all wired up in there. So all I have to do is I just have to plug this in. I guess I could always hook it up to my Google Home and then just ask Google to fill the pond. This area back here is where the water comes through. So in designing this pond, we wanted to make sure that the water could still get through. So what we have done is we've got a sewer, I guess, a drain pipe. Looks like we have to clear some of the leaves out of it. But this drain pipe is slightly sloped inwards towards the pond. And then we've got this area as the lower area. So the water comes in here like this and goes in and then comes out the other side. And there is the pipe. And you can actually see how he has extrusion welded it right to the liner. Ah, look at that. A nice rainbow. What a way to end a day. All right, everybody's hanging out here by the pool. Everybody's getting out of the pool. All right. So we have Czech geese, and we have this one here, which is a Chinese goose, also known as a Chinese swan. Look at that telltale bump on the top of the head. Then we have a Cayuga duck here, a drake, Cayuga drake. And if you don't know this, how do you tell the difference between a duck and a drake? A boy and a girl. You can see right there on the back, there is a curled up, if he stops moving, curled up feather. Okay, stay still, right there. The curly feathers, those are known as drake feathers. So they tend to fall off from time to time when molting, but most of the time they're there. And the head, so the green head also is a good sign. You get to know, and then as they act, the different ways that they act towards their females, you can pick that out as well. So here we have two, they're rowan ducks. They look very much so like mallards, but they're quite a bit larger and cannot fly. So we don't trim their wings. And then over there is Harley, and she is a harlequin duck. And we got really original with the name Harlequin, or Harley. Who else do we have? We have the Muscovies. So we have male Muscovies are quite a bit. What's going on here? The male Muscovies are quite a bit larger than their female counterpart, which you can see between Phil and this white one in front of him. And then we've got panting roosters. It's a hot one, isn't it, buddy? So then we have a pekin. So we have Bubba here, the pekin duck that thinks he's a goose. He's usually hanging out with the geese, probably because he's white and he thinks that that's where he belongs. But of course, his neck is shorter, and he's not as large, right, buddy? Do you think you're a goose? Silly boy. All right, then we get into the pigs. So we have Piper and we have Petey over here. They've been with us for a long time. They were basically carburetors when they came in. Very fat. Now they're on a diet and they get lots of exercise, and they're here to live out their days. So and I'd like to think that they love it here. And then we have what looks like Daisy. Yes, so this is Daisy. I always get Daisy and Turbo mixed up. But this is Daisy. Hi, Daisy. And then we have George. You know, we just shaved them fairly recently, so you got to kind of get used to what they look like. So we have George here. And then we have Tinker. And we have Tulip right there. And Turbo must be in with the alpaca. Or out back. Has anybody in here seen a... Oh, there he is. Oh, they just blocked him. Amia just blocked him. Turbo's lying down in there. You guys don't want to go out in the rain? I thought you guys liked the rain. Am I getting my alpaca information from a bad source? What is happening here? We've got one rooster that thinks it's time for bed. The lightning has come, and it is time for bed. So this is usually where they'll all roost, right across here. And then we have Bronwyn. Excuse me, Bronwyn, which is as I mentioned, a haired sheep, and she doesn't get sheared. So we think she's a Dorper cross sheep, and the Dorper breed is the hair breed. And then I think that's it for everybody, right? Oh, Sunny? No, you're Shanzy. Okay. Are you gonna walk out on me now? I don't know. You've got a slender face. Isn't that a nice thing for me to say? No, you're not even gonna look at me now. Okay. All right. Okay, guys, we're heading out. So this area is what we intended to work on this weekend, to get rid of some of this old material. You can see how there's wood rot. This gate here just is falling apart and doesn't work anymore. So we are going to redo this. But it was so hot this weekend, we decided to put it off to next weekend when it's cooler, so that we can tear all of this down. This is where our rabbits are. This is our girl rabbits. It's starting to rain again. Maybe it's time to go inside here. And then we have the boy rabbits. Oh, listen to that. The sound of rain on a hot tin roof. There it is. And a rooster. So these are the boys, and then the girls are over on this side, and a pigeon, a random pigeon. Oh, and there's another pigeon back there. I guess they're probably gonna make a nest. These guys find their ways into every building. Oh, what do we have here? We have a little baby. Okay, do I need to intervene? Why is the baby out? Oh. The baby needs to be in. Okay. How did you get out of you're nice and warm, but you need to go with all of your brothers and sisters right in there. So yes, we do have little bunnies. Okay, there you go. We gotta keep an eye on those. Which one of you is the mom? And is there any other nests? Doesn't look like it. I know there is another nest outside, but it is in a shelter over at the end of the building right over there. So they are a little bit younger, not by much, by about a day or two, than these ones in here. And I almost forgot, nope. You stay in. I almost forgot about those ones. And then I saw the little one just lying there in the middle of the ground. Some mom isn't paying attention to their kids. So these ones came in on rescue. There was a total of 28 of them, if I recall correctly. And I think it was about half and half, female, male. So we separated them. That was the first thing that we did. And they're just so cute. Hey, buddy. So this one is, well, lionhead cross. You can see from that other one just in a little bit further. This one here. We think a lot of them are lionhead cross. There's also some Rex cross as well in there. Lionhead Rex cross. But they are cute. So this is what we're going to be working on. We're going to be working on extending and making an outrun for these boys, the boy pen. And then we're going to change that one all around and reconfigure that. And look at this. Somebody's just lying there in the dirt. I guess that's what you do on a hot day. Lay out in the rain in the cool soil. This is what happens when we come out in the garden. All the animals come around because they're expecting Tara to weed like that.
Oh, the cantaloupe is all started.
So it thunderstormed all night last night, on, off. So we didn't think we were going to get a lot of rain, but we seemed to get a good bunch of it overnight. So it's, I think, 26 degrees Celsius, sunny, and of course very humid. So it's you can really feel it. But it's nice. It's nice. So we're out here in the garden. Tara's weeding some things. She's been busy all week. Catnip. We did take some of the catnip and give it to the cats, and they really enjoyed that. And then Tara, you're drying some as well.
Yeah,
right?
we'll try it so we have well, supply our volunteer and other people with catnip. I might sell it because I'm gonna have so many plants. I have 11 plants of catnip.
Yeah, they run all
And
along
they're just huge.
and all the way over back to here. So things are greening up.
Yeah, they are. They're cantaloupe started.
Yeah.
So this is cantaloupe here. So little cantaloupes everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Peppers are in. So my peppers have started.
Okay.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh,
Oh, wow.
so close. Not yet. Still red there.
Strawberry.
Strawberries are coming. I'm leaving the asparagus another year to seed so I end up with more. See, there's catnip.
Well, and it has to be, what is it, 3 years before you can harvest it?
Yeah, 2 or 3 years, but the seeds will seed themselves
Yeah.
and whatnot. So when they go to seed, then I just tip them over and we'll seed them. This is oregano. There's a few spots of oregano. See, look, all those flowers, that'll all be seeds.
Yeah, you can see all the little bits.
So then we'll put them back down into the same area. We did peppers. The bok choy, I think, got taken by that cold weather, but we'll see what happens.
Rhubarb, so we've got a few rhubarb
Yeah.
plants around.
Well, one of our volunteers really likes rhubarb, so I'm like,
Wow. Tiana and I like rhubarb too.
right, but I don't cook.
Wow, we make the rhubarb crunch, which is good.
Yeah.
These are some Manitoba maple trees that we've got
Yeah.
potted. We want to get some of these in the ground back further. So we'll figure out something to fence it in. Maybe put a temporary electric, well, temporary meaning a few years
Oh,
anyway.
these all started, eh? So I did pumpkins and squashes right in the ground because the zucchini did really well. So there's a pumpkin or a squash. And then every bale nook, I did one. So they're all coming. So nobody's allowed to whip or snip but me, because I know where they are. Right? Pumpkins. These guys are all doing well. They got like their third. So all the peppers are in here as well.
Yeah, so we didn't talk about the fill because that happened kind of at the end of last week.
Oh.
We cleaned out the areas where we're going to be modifying the rabbit hutch, and we got all of this material in here that's
Thank
been...
you to Braden, who's
Yeah.
doing some... Can you move away from the bale? You're going to step on my...
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, watch where you step.
Stop, watch where you step. He's been doing some volunteer hours, and he's a nice hard worker, and I like it. He did all that, and today we cleaned out all the barns.
So
big
what
barn.
we did is, this is, well, all three of these,
All the fill.
well, actually there's more than just the three,
Yeah.
was the build-up and compost from, what is it, probably about 18,
18
19 years, because it was the site of our original chicken coop.
chickens.
So we want to bring that down and level the ground anyway, and we dug down and it was just this beautiful soil that is composted. Yeah, so here,
That's the soil from it.
yeah. So
The
it's
only
just
thing I'm
beautiful.
finding is canola.
Oh, are you fine? Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
I got canola growing everywhere. So some of the seeds are processed by the animals, and obviously canola is one of them.
Well, we know that canola and flaxseed
Yeah,
has to be ground because it goes right through them, right?
yeah. So, oh look, see, every nook and corner. Oh, looks like
yeah.
it's having a hard time coming out though, but
Yeah.
they, I don't know who was in my yard. Look, they chewed off.
Oh.
I don't know if it's a chipmunk again. He's chewed this right off, little toot. But these are, yeah, no, everything's loving it.
Tomatoes.
Yeah. Like I put these in probably, when was Jerry here?
Those are cucumbers.
They are we labeled them, look. We had to label them. Crystal apple cucumber.
Crystal apple.
So
cucumber.
it's another one like the cuckoo melon. See, look at all the canola. Canola, canola, canola. I'm gonna have flea beetles for sure. But all the peppers are down the middle, tomatoes in the back.
Now, a neighbor of ours have picked up some praying mantis.
Yeah.
So I grew up in southern Ontario, and the praying mantis, is a natural predator to a lot of garden pests, but also good pests or good bugs. So have any of you experienced the praying mantis where you use it naturally to control?
Therapy.
What is that, the mint?
Chocolate mint.
Yeah, the chocolate mint. So yeah, she's got the chocolate mint growing all through here.
Have you ever eaten one?
I have. Yes, it tastes chocolatey and minty at the same time. Okay, yeah, so this is, other than the weeds, this is the, there's chicks and hens in here, and there's a lot of ornamentals, right?
Yeah.
Spices.
Chocolate mint.
Yeah.
Lots of different types of mint. Fennel. Oh, oh yeah, lots.
So more strawberries here.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
You love to see the mushrooms growing.
That means there's lots of moisture in there.
Oh, see? There's holes I gotta watch because I put, oh look, there they are.
You have to put a stake in the
I
ground,
know.
maybe on the corner.
I had to find out where they were first. Now I can see them.
So tomatoes.
Yeah, and all my tomatoes I seeded out here as well, so they're starting.
And
Tomatoes and peppers.
This one you bought, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you see, here's a tip. If you buy one, you don't buy more than one, you buy one large tomato. Because every time you prune it, you can stick that in the ground and you'll have another tomato plant. Okay, so you're supposed to prune your tomatoes so they grow better. But when you prune this little guy in the center here, he's actually a whole new plant. So just stick him in, water him, you'll have a whole new plant. You don't need to buy a whole bunch. There's nothing in the bales this year. Woo, woo, woo.
More watermelon there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all this was fill from
this is
there
more
as well,
fill from
correct?
here.
Yeah.
I know, we've been working our butts off this year. It's been a good year for stuff.
Lots of stuff going on, lots of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then what do we got over here?
Woo, hoo, hoo, hoo. These are tomatoes. I had seeded these guys inside. Oh no, sorry, yeah, tomatoes. I did tomatoes all in the back and peppers in the front because peppers didn't like the bales last year. So peppers and then
Tomatoes.
Yeah. There was a couple that didn't, so obviously they've come now. I'll have to put them in. But strawberries did phenomenal. And look at the size of the beets already. Wow. So this is all beets and dandelions. Raspberries are already flowering. Yay. Beets, different type, or sorry, maybe I should. Red beets, golden beets. Obviously I have to make different labels before I lose all my labels. Ruby Queen. I wanted to try different ones. Canola. Canola.
They're waiting.
Right? Nothing in the bales. I don't know what I'm gonna do with there. I want to do more containers.
Well, and we can put the bales in the bottom of the planting boxes.
Yeah. This is all carrots. This first carrot's not doing so hot. Flowering carrot. I don't see any. But these carrots are doing good. Yay. And then most of this is for the animals. You know, we'll just start.
Well, they appreciate it.
They do. Okay.
So we moved everything out of the greenhouse just because it didn't need to be in there anymore. The temperatures have been good. And we shut off the exhaust fan, so it had gotten up to, what was it?
You gotta wait.
150 degrees,
Yeah, right?
I think, in there. So it's barren in here right now. I did pick up Tara one of these high-low. So when you can see there, the high is probably about 140 degrees. The low looks like 10 degrees, but then she hasn't reset this in a little while since she took everything out of here. So it's we have our own sauna. We can go in the pool, and then we can go out and have a little sauna.
Right. So that was onions, and then we get into collards for the animals. Yes. Right? Oh.
We're gonna have to train the alpaca. It looks like Shancy's over there. I don't know where Paula is. Oh, there, Paula's right there.
Yeah.
The boys are nowhere to be seen.
Growing, but they're tiny.
These are all collards.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Creole collards, Italia collards, kale.
Yeah, so I took a look for the we got a bunch of spikes somewhere around.
Yeah,
so I'm
I'll
going to
find
take another look today and see if I can find them. And then we'll just kind of laser engrave down the side what is in that area. And somebody had suggested about painting the bottom of the steak, which is a good idea because then we won't see any rotting happening. So everything is good. Summer appears to be here. It's warm. It's hot. And Tara's got something exciting to show us.
Look at my peas.
Oh, the peas. Yeah, so she's planted them all along here so that they can grow up this trellis here.
So the peas and beans will grow up that side, and the cucumbers will grow up that side, and then the watermelon and squashes will go to the ground and over. See, look, there's a little one everywhere.
It's like
I haven't found this one yet.
Oh,
Hasn't popped up yet.
It's like an Easter egg hunt.
Right?
But it's
yeah, no,
it's the great pumpkin hunt.
Yeah. Look at this. My cuckoo melons. They're little right now.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing good though. They've like doubled in size. So the cuckoo melons, you'll remember, they grow up here.
And they go up, and then there's all this netting that's here.
Yeah. This was a neat one. So it's a bird cucumber, which is similar to they're called gherkins. So it's a small edible one like the cuckoo melon. I love cucumbers, FYI. I'm a cucumber. I can live on cucumbers.
Pickling them, and yeah. Sour cream and cucumbers.
Everything. This was a good one last year. Somebody had given me a few of these. The Armenian. They're long, yellow. Really good for salads. Oh, okay. I'm just waiting for everybody to poke up. See, they're poking up.
Waiting for all of them.
See?
Yeah.
Bloop, bloop. Okay, so now this one I haven't checked today.
So what's in?
Oh, yes!
What's in here?
Look. So these are squashes for the animals.
Oh, squash.
Right here. Boo, boo, boo.
Do I get any squashes?
Well, boo. Oh! Yay, 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 yay! Yay, yay! Okay, because I've been waiting for these suckers to come up. What is... Oh, it's a funky piece of grass.
Couldn't figure out what you planted?
No!
So she's got also some pumpkin outside here in the grass.
Right.
So she's warned me where not to walk. Yeah, this whole area here.
Right? If you get real down here and you get real... Look, these things I feel like are going to come out and strangle me.
Yeah.
Look. See? 1, 2. And I did it in a pattern, so typically it should be like, you know.
Yeah.
So I should have a couple.
Well, there's
here.
one.
There's one. There's one. It's like a puzzle. There's one. There's one. See, so so obviously my triangle comes to here.
Okay. So you should put something
Right.
up there, like a little piece of twine or
Just wait a week
something.
and don't walk there.
This rhubarb is doing really well. So this one you planted 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got an original one out by our yard light, out front, that's been there for years.
The only thing different about this that I can recall is a lot of charcoal went in here. So ash. Because I had a load from the bottom of the old fire pit and it was ash.
Okay.
So obviously it likes it. Look. Look there. 1, 2, 3. I have to weed there. Don't look there.
Oh, okay.
Don't look there. I'm tired. I have to weed.
All right. Well, let's call this a video. I know it's a longer one. It's probably almost 50 minutes. Yeah, we did clean out the barn. I hooked up the air stone and the sinking air line for the Conder's windmill. And then I ground up some eggs. We had a bunch of eggs. When we cook, we bake the or microwave the eggs to what? To cook them. To cook them so that they don't go bad. And then we grind them. So we've got a grinder that we grind up, and we use that in the winter months, add it to their feed so that the chickens get some grit and some calcium. So we were kind of busy. I didn't take the camera out because I knew that it was going to be a long one anyway. So I hope you like the length. A lot of people say that they're sorry to see it end. But it's going to end now if you've made it this far in the video. Thank you for your support in watching these videos. And we will see you in the next one. Take care and have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.